Yo, what is good, everyone? And thank you. Wait, nope, that's the wrong thing I wanted to say. Well, we're going to flip it around again because there ain't no thank you, but I just wanted to say welcome back to the channel, or welcome. As you do know, this will be my new secondary channel or primary channel. Preference to whatever you guys want to see, but this will be the main channel for football. If you haven't checked it out yet, I will have the introduction video. It will be posted on Facebook. I do have it on Twitter as well. The links will be down below. Nothing too special with that. It just lets you guys more in depth on what this channel will be about, which I just basically mentioned. It'll be strictly football. Just want to kind of liven things up, let you guys jump into my mind, see how I feel about all these football games that are going to be happening, fantasy, anything in specific with football. But with that being said, we do got a couple games slated for Thursday, and I do want to dive into those. Now, yes, it is preseason, so I'm not going to be predicting no games. More, in fact, just, see what I'll be watching out for more than anything. I can give you a prediction score, but that's going to mean nothing at the end of the day. There are people who bet on preseason games and things like that, but that's not something I want to lose my money on, so I'm not even going to jump into that, and I don't want people to hold me accountable saying, oh, you chose the Eagles over the Redskins or something like that, because I'm not doing that preseason time. But I will give you my top 3 things on each team that I am looking for in each game, and something to hold in the future and get excited for. So with that, let's dive into it. So Thursday, we have 2 games, a slight opening into this preseason weekend. So it's going to be a smaller video, but we got 2 games that we'll be jumping into. And the first one we'll talk about will be the Steelers visiting the Eagles. And like I said, no predictions here, but it'll be 3 things I'm focused on from each team and see what I would want to see from following in the season. And the first thing with the Steelers, the main thing, and I think it's everyone that they want to see, is the running game. They drafted Najee Harris in the first round. Everyone thinks he's going to be a top 10 running back. Steelers love to run the ball, and I just want to see if he lives up to the hype. When the mock drafts came out, we all knew where he was going. It was like, no matter where the Steelers were going to pick 1 to 31, it just felt like he was going to be there. And I think he's a great fit for that Steelers organization, and I hope he lives up to the hype. I think even in fantasy football aspects, I think he could be a sleeper in the first round. I wouldn't touch him until the second round, just because rookies, you never know. For example, last year I touched Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm a big Chiefs fan, so I kind of fell on that hype. He did have good points in the year, but then he got hurt. Those rookies usually hit that rookie wall, but Pittsburgh loves to run the ball, so it could be a safe bet to take him, and it would be something exciting to see. Now, the second thing that I'll be looking for from Pittsburgh is their wide receivers, but more in specific, it would be James Washington. Now, there's rumors that they're saying that he has requested a trade just because he hasn't been targeted enough. He hasn't been implemented in the game plan. Now, he was a strong wide receiver coming out of Oklahoma State. I do like him a lot with Pittsburgh. He would be a good candidate on the trade block. I think a lot of teams could get a good value for him, probably maybe a 4th or 5th round pick, and he could be a number 2 wide receiver. So in this game, I do expect him to get more receptions, just, to kind of up the ante, show, hey, he's worth more than what everyone's thinking. They'll try to get a 2nd or 3rd round pick, but I do see him getting the ball, and I can see him showing out. But through this preseason, I'd keep your eyes on him because I do feel like he will move before week 1. And now the last thing is the quarterbacks. Now, we do know Big Ben probably won't play in this game, but we do got do I want to call it controversy? Because it really isn't. But you got Joshua Dobbs, you got, I almost said Madison, Mason Rudolph, and you got Dwayne Haskins. Let's be real. They're all 3 underachieving quarterbacks, but there does need to be someone in line for when Big Ben retires, because honestly, as it looks like right now, they don't have the future on their roster. So who will step up? Everyone's hoping is Dwayne Haskins, but we saw against the Cowboys, which he did get a lot of playing time in that Hall of Fame game. Nothing too special, but it was nothing too special from any of them. So that second string quarterback spot's going to be very iffy for the Steelers. Now let's move on to the Eagles. The main thing everyone's going to be looking out for with Philly is Jalen Hurts. Can he live up to the hype? Can he be that new number 1 quarterback? Can he send the Eagles to the playoffs? Can he take over? Can he be that main guy? He's going to have to prove himself, and he's going to get a lot of playing time, I feel, in the preseason. It's not going to be like any other quarterback to where they rest, hope they don't get injured. No, he's going to see his snaps. He's going to be on that field. And thing I want to watch out for with that is because if he plays like subpar or decent, like I don't think that could be good enough. And just keep your eyes out for Deshaun Watson. If he happens to like have all his allegations drop, which is huge, which I don't think will happen before the season, but let's say towards trade deadline, let's say Jalen Hurts is struggling like week 5, 6, he could be a Philadelphia Eagle, and that could boost that team a lot. And if everything falls off, and he's a top 5 quarterback, if he's completely healthy and he's completely out of trouble. Number 2 thing I would watch out for with Philly in this game is their wide receivers. Now you're not going to see a bunch because if I do know correctly, I think now I got to retract a little bit, but I think Devontae Smith is out with injury, and I think he's going to miss most of the preseason, which kind of sucks. I could be completely wrong, but I do think he's going to miss this game at least, and I know he's Philly's best rookie they have. They're excited to see him play. The best receiver probably since Deshaun there, and they're excited to see everything pop up, but who do they have behind him? That was the question last year with Philly, and I still don't know if they have the answers to that, so we got to see the core behind him because, honestly, I didn't even do enough research. I don't know their names, so I don't know who Philly has lining up that's behind Devontae Smith. So I want to see someone ball out and try to win a roster spot for the Eagles. Now, the number 3 thing, which is also, I kind of tied them in two together because they both are very big, and it's also another trade candidate, but I think he will be on the team, is Zach Ertz, a top 5 tight end, when healthy. Now, there was a lot of rumors towards the draft deadline that he was going to be traded. He was unhappy, but he's here. He reported to camp. Let's see if he plays in the preseason. Let's see if he does really good. Let's see if it helps. Like with James Washington, get his value up there. Let's see if the Eagles can get like a 2nd or 3rd round pick, or if they want to run with Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz, which might be their best bet because if you don't have any strong receiving cores, you're gonna need 2 good tight ends. Jalen Hurts gonna have to throw to someone because your running game's not even that strong either. Jalen Hurts is gonna need someone out there. And the other thing I tied into it with as well is Darius Slay. So is it going to be mostly booked on him on that defense and the cornerbacks? Because Philly's cornerbacks are slim just like their receivers. I can't name another one. Now, probably Philly fans can, but they wouldn't be happy to name another one after Darius Slay. Now, I could be wrong. I could get insulted. You guys could watch this video and be like, hey, this guy is great. I don't know him, though. All I know is Darius Slay. So those are the 3 things from the Steelers and Eagles that I will be keeping my eyes on for that game. Bam. And now the last game, yes, I only said there's 2 games on Thursday, so it's nothing too crazy. Kind of slides this channel, makes it a little easier. Soft intro. I had the softer intro, but now we got football diving in. But we will have the Washington football team playing the New England Patriots. Now, the number 1 thing I'm going to be looking for with the Washington football team, and the thing I think that it has been holding them back, and honestly, if you look at the roster, it's actually kind of solid, and I will go more into depth with it. But the main thing is the quarterbacks. So, yes, we know they got Ryan Fitzpatrick. We know they got Tyler Heineke, who played, I wouldn't say amazing, but he played good for never playing a game in the playoffs and showing out against the Buccaneers and almost winning the game. He played really good. Now, we know with Fitzpatrick what happens. He'll give you a good 3-4 solid games, and then it's, damn, we're looking for a quarterback again. So, I'm going to ignore Fitzpatrick because I know what he'll do. Tyler Heineke, he needs the ball out in the preseason so he can be the week 1 starter and just claim the whole season through. Yes, he's going to have his up and down and struggle, but Washington doesn't have a number 1 quarterback, and they need to establish that because when I dive more into this with my other 2 things, you're going to realize this team is stacked and they can actually take the NFC East crown if they had a quarterback. Now, the next thing I will jump into is Antonio Gibson, the running back. He came on strong towards the end of the year. Everyone was hyped on him as a rookie. They loved what we seen coming out of Memphis, but he struggled as a rookie coming in. I know because I was a fantasy owner, dropped him early on, regretted it because I could have used him in the playoffs, but that's neither here nor there. Can he be that full every down back for Washington through a whole season? Can he play that whole part? I'd love to see what he does in the preseason. I'd love to see if they give him many carries to see how well he does. And then my last thing. Listen, we know Washington's defense is really good. That's what kept them in the game with the Bucs. But let's put on game what they do have. The receiving core. So they drafted Dwame Brown in the 4th round. round. You guys don't know probably much about him, but a big, tall, fast, solid receiver. He's going to surprise a lot of people. We already know about Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, and Logan Thomas. And then you got Antonio Gibson. They got the talent. I think it's really solid. You got a solid defense, a solid offense. Their line is iffy. I will give it that. That's something they do got to build on as well. But I think that quarterback position is what's holding them back. But they can be a really solid team. And I really think if Tyler Heineke steps up and plays well, they are a playoff team. Now let's flip the script. Let's go to New England. The main thing everyone's watching for. It'll be the same thing I'll probably say every 4 games unless someone runs away with it. But Cam versus Mac. Now, Mac will probably get more of the shine during the preseason just because you got to get your reps. You got to get a rookie in there. And I don't think Cam has played much in the preseason. But, again, it's Bill Belichick. He's going to throw him in there. And I think it's a real quarterback controversy there. But I think Cam will take it. But let's see what Mac Jones does. The number 2 thing I will be watching from New England is, it's preseason. So you're going to get all your trade bait. And we already know. N'Keal Harry, he didn't offer. He basically requested to be traded. I want to say early June. I could be wrong on that, but it was some point in that time. I want to say it was a little after the draft. He wasn't happy with his role with New England, but they said he'd been balling out in camp. Now, that can mean 1 or 2 things. Usually when they hype someone up like that, they're trying to get more out of him. Or they could really be believing in him, and they could be putting him more in the system and trying to satisfy him and make him happy. At the end of the day, I don't know if he'll still be on that team, but I want to see how well he is because I remember when Tom Brady's last year, he was supposed to be that number 1 guy, and that just fell through. And Tom Brady had no weapons, and now look at him, winning championships with Tampa Bay. They got to find something in New England. And let's talk about that receiving corps because it's the same thing as Washington, but a little different. They invested heavy in that receiving corps just to try to make sure they don't end up how they did last year or the year before where Tom Brady struggled with them. So I'm interested, even though Hunter Henry does have an injury, if this receiving corps will actually help this team. They did lose a few pieces on the O-line. Cam, we got to see if he'll step up or if Mac Jones will take that spot. I do not think Mac Jones will be that week 1 starter, but this offense has to do a whole 360 if they don't want to be where they were last year. Closing thoughts. No, but in all seriousness, though, that'll be closing out both those games for Thursday. I will also jump into Friday. I will recap Thursday, and I will mention everything that I was watching out for, see if I was satisfied, see if I was, highly disappointed in what I saw. But again, guys, I know a lot of you aren't following this channel, but please do subscribe to this channel. It would be very, very appreciative, and I do appreciate everything. I appreciate you guys even following that Sneaker Agents channel. I will still be posting on there. I will post future sneakers, future sneaker news, but right now it's strictly football. And with that being said, you guys already know what to do. Please do subscribe to the channel. Please give us that big thumbs up. Please do like this video. Again, I do have a strict Twitter page. It will be at the _hydrate702. I will basically be quoting every, insider, going inside camps of other teams, any news reports, and just giving my inside info on it. Like I said before, I am no source. I will never be breaking no news, but I will be having my own comments and twist towards it. So please do go follow that account if you guys are interested in any of that. And on Facebook too, I will keep you up to date on all the latest videos that do drop, so do not miss out on any of that. And with that, please do take care. Peace.